Now, Lara, we're going to talk about Tuscany.
Yes.
So Tuscany is the expansion to Viticulture, but like you said, it's a legacy-style expansion, and it offers some really cool stuff. So after each game is played, you add another module of the expansion from the 3 tiers. Mm-hmm. So there's like 4 from tier 1, and I don't know how many from tier 2 and tier 3. Mm-hmm. But they get more complex as you go up.
And the winner gets to pick it. So it kind of, you get to decide.
It's really cool, right? Yeah. So, the legacy thing comes from Risk Legacy, which was designer Rob Davio, where he took Risk and made it this game that changed from game to game.
So you could run a campaign, so to speak.
And other games have used it, done this in different ways. Rob Davio is coming out with a game called Seafall that is kind of his own world. It's a 4X game from Plaid Hat Games that uses Legacy. And Rob Davio and Matt Leacock are coming out with Pandemic Legacy.
Oh, nice.
So, other games like Shadowrun Crossfire have done things like where you're running a campaign where you use these points you get in the game to get stickers to add abilities to your car.
Kind of a RPG character building sort of aspect.
But this one uses a modular style expansion, but puts a legacy twist on it where, like you said, the winner of each previous game is choosing which expansion to add in. And it's a ton of fun. Mine and my wife's first game, we both chose together. We chose Mamas and Papas. Mm-hmm. And then she won the next game, chose Patronage. And I won this last game and chose the property tiles. So we've got our last first tier expansion to add in, which doesn't matter who wins because you've got to add that one in.
Yeah.
And then start with tier 2. And they get really cool. But we'll talk about that here in a minute. But let's go ahead and talk about the ones we've opened up so far. Mamas and Papas and Patronage. Like I said, we've already added in property tiles for the next game, but we haven't played them. Mm-hmm. So, Lara, Mamas and Papas adds in variable setup to the game. So
a little bit of asymmetry.
Yeah, instead of each player getting a Merlot card, 2 workers, their Grande worker, 3 lira, and 1 random summer visitor. Instead of that happening, each person gets a Mama card and a Papa card. So the Mama cards usually include your 2 normal workers and a certain amount of wine or visitor cards. So you might get a summer and winter visitor card and a wine card, or 2 or 3 wine cards, or 2 wine cards and a summer visitor. So you actually end up getting more to start the game with.
Yeah.
More cards.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Papa cards are going to include your Grande worker, and I've seen a couple that don't.
I bet they have a big other thing though, right?
No, actually I've seen a Mama card that included 4 cards and only 1 worker, something like that.
Yeah.
And actually, there's some that have 3 workers. Like you could start the game with 4 workers instead of 3.
That could be very powerful.
And the Papa cards will include money, and it's usually a decent amount of money, like 5 lira instead of 3.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And again, a couple I know the Papa cards we saw have that same choice.
Yeah, that's what all the Papa cards are.
Yeah, you get this or this.
Mm-hmm. So they'll give you your money, and then it'll have a choice, which is like usually more money or a building, a structure. So you get to start the game with a structure, but everybody gets it. I kind of started at a deficit the other day where, what was it, my cottage? Like it gave me my cottage.
Yeah.
Or no, I think it actually, I don't remember what it gave me. You started with the windmill. Mm-hmm. Haley started with like irrigation. Mm-hmm. And I started with the yoke. That's what it was.
And
the yoke's good, but I actually forgot to put it out there and forgot I had it the whole game.
Yeah.
No, actually I chose the money.
That's right. That's right.
What it was.
You picked the other one.
I was thinking, the first couple times we played Mamas and Papas that like, who would ever pick the money over the building? But it happened because... And then now I'm talking about how important the yoke is. So that's usually going to give you a choice. And the choice is kind of cool. Like, what am I going to choose? But then you get to start with more stuff. But it's really cool. It can create a cool boost to you because you got more cards, you got more money, you get to start with the building. But also a challenge to work with what you get if yours isn't as good as the other players, and to work against what your opponents get. Oh, man, they started with a tasting room. They're going to start racking up those points right off the get-go instead of having to build up some money and go to the build-a-structure place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really thought the Mamas and Papas is really cool. I mean, it's probably my favorite one so far. We've only opened up 2, but out of the 2, it's kind of the coolest.
Yeah.
It's just variable setup. Such a nifty idea.
Just a little bit of...
Each player starts with this every single game. You never know what you're going to start the game with. How cool is that, right?
It's pretty cool.
So Patronage is a little, it's not hard to figure out, but it was a little more, I kind of get how it works, and then you get it, and it kind of nifty. So it's got a wine order on one side, and the wine order has a value of 5. That's any wine. Any wine that's value of 5. And when you fill this wine order, you have to go to the fill wine order space, and you fill this, and it gives you 3 victory points, which is a lot of victory points.
Yeah, when you're only going to 20.
Yeah, and everybody should be trying to go for this because if other people are getting those 3 victory points and you're not, I mean,
that's going to put you behind.
Yeah, for sure. But then what that does when you get that, it also activates a secret goal. So you look on the back and it's got a secret goal. Mine was and all these secret goals are scored at the end of the game. So mine was at the end of the game, have the fewest workers, which I didn't get. What was yours?
Mine was have the most vines in the field.
Really? Did you have that?
No, I had switched my focus to trying to fill wine orders a lot earlier on because I had neglected to remember I had my windmill, so I wasn't.
Yeah.
I should have done a couple things differently, but yeah, that was mine, and I didn't.
But I don't think you guys filled the original order on the card anyway.
I never filled.
I don't think Haley did that either.
No, I never filled a single wine order that game.
But yeah, if you complete your secret goal, like if you have achieved your secret goal at the end of the game, if you filled that wine order and it's been activated, you get 2 more points. I didn't either. I mean, I had I think 5 or 6 of my workers, and it was at least tied with the other 2 players,
Yeah.
What'd you think about Patronage? I mean, it's kind of cool. It's a cool little expansion, like an extra wine order, 3-point boost. I mean,
I like the idea of the secret goal because it may look strange and somebody may be wondering, but then was he just having bad luck drawing, or is he working towards a secret goal like yours?
That's true. Almost has a traitor element to the game.
Yeah, and I didn't know that like yours is something that's kind of a disadvantage. Like have the fewest number of workers, and that's rough.
I can give you a boost if you're not doing good.
Like you can't buy a worker until everybody else has bought one, unless if you want to fill that, So you got to hang back and kind of.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of interesting. I thought about this after we got done playing, that I ended up winning the game, but my wife and I were tied, and I won because I had the first tiebreaker, which was most money, or lira. They use lira in this game. So she really won the base game. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have tied with her if I hadn't done that patronage card.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I won because of this little expansion. Yeah. And it's an official expansion that's in our game every time now. Yeah. We can always take things that we don't like about the expansions and take those pieces out, but I don't see us not liking any of them.
Yeah, they seem so small, and to add as much as they do, why not? You know?
The next one's going to add a big money boost to the game.
Definitely.
I mean, everyone's going to have more money, and then you're just going to be like, everyone's building structures really fast and hiring workers. I mean, a big money boost. I mean, like $18 extra.
Wow, oh, that's right. It's six each.
No, 5, 6, and 7.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, but I mean, that's like big. You know what I mean?
That's a lot of money in the game. I think the most expensive thing is either the tasting room or the large cellar, but there's 7 or 8.
Yeah,
lira.
I think they're pretty expensive.
So getting one of those right off the bat with just doing that is a big deal.
Absolutely. I'm not sure exactly how those work, but I think you just sell them and get the money whenever you need them.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any sort of penalty to selling them, or I'm not sure, but that's what we're playing with next time. So I thought Mamas and Papas is really cool, like having the variable starting resources. And Patronage was also kind of cool. Secret Goal adds like not a trader element, but like, just a cool secretive element to the game. Like you said, like not knowing what someone's doing, they're doing poorly, or if they're trying to get that extra couple of points. Yeah. And like I said, I wouldn't have won the game if it hadn't been for that Patronage card, filling that wine order. And that was the one wine order I filled. The patronage card. So we're going to talk about all of Tuscany. That's my plan, is for us to talk about all of Tuscany. I mean, that may take us the next 6-8 months, but as we play it, we're going to add in a new expansion each time, and we're going to talk about the whole thing. The next time is going to be property tiles and the 4th Tier 1 expansion, which is advanced visitors. So once we've gotten in a play of the game with each of those, we'll come back on the show and we'll talk about our second Tuscany review. Okay. So future expansions include an expansion about growing fruit. These are when you get into the bigger, like Tier 3 expansions, where it adds extra boards and stuff.
Nice.
One about growing fruit, one about making cheese, and one that's even a brand new game board that's way bigger than the normal game board. I mean, this was included in this expansion, a whole new game board.
Yeah.
And it's the same board, but bigger. The art's extended, everything. Mm-hmm. And it's extended to include actions for spring and fall.
Yeah. So the normal one, you normally just choose turn order in spring and draw one card in fall, right? Mm-hmm. But now it's going to add more stuff like in winter and summer.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, I mean, the goal of this game is once you've added all these in and got to play with all of them, like that's your game from then on. You can probably, I think they say put in all of Tier 1 and Tier 2 and choose one Tier 3.
At a time.
So either the extended board or the cheese or the fruit. But I mean, it's so cool that from now on, you're playing with either an extended board or trying to make cheese on the side or grow fruit, do an orchard on the side. So I mean, this game is only going to get bigger and bigger and better. And that's what's so cool about the Tuscany expansion is that you're taking a game that's on the light medium side to a game that's potentially on the upper medium side or maybe even the lower heavy side. I mean, we don't know yet.
Yeah.
You add all this in and have that many working parts all of a sudden, it's got to be getting up there.
Yeah. But I'm not at all nervous about it changing because the smoothness of the base game, it could do with a little more complexity and still be very unencumbered.
Absolutely, man. And it also has something cool in the box. It's called, Tuscany includes a module called Automa that has cards for solo play. So what it is the AI player is driven by cards. So at the beginning of each season, you play a card and it says they play a summer visitor, they draw a vine card, and they plant. Yeah. So then those spaces are taken. You're building a structure, giving a tour, or, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, so it just like drives them. I believe you play their card and do all their actions, and that's what's blocked.
I see. That, dude, you know how I feel about it. I love the opportunity to solo a game. I feel like you can really get into a lot of the permutations you might never see if you solo a game more, and that's so awesome that you can solo this one.
Yeah, I haven't been very into solo games, but I think this might make me solo this game.
Yeah. That
you've got another player that's an AI.
Yeah.
A game like that where it's not just you doing the game solo, where you're actually playing. And I watched a review today about the solo version of this game, and it's supposedly pretty tough. This person, it took them 6 games to actually win.
Well, I love that. I mean, same with co-ops. You don't want them to be too easy. I feel like if a solo game isn't at all challenging, then pretty soon you're going to stop playing.
Yeah, why would you even bother with it?
I mean, it took me Tiny Epic Defenders like 8 or 9 times playing solo to ever win.
I mean, why do you think Solitaire is so popular for people to play? It's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, that time when you win feels so good because you don't ever win,
Yeah.
So, that's Tuscany expansion for Viticulture. It's Tuscany, expand the world of viticulture, and it is exciting stuff. I mean, the fact that this game that I've played 7 times is going to become new and fresh and just something different every single time I play. And then when I get to the end, it's just going to be this huge, expansive game that I can play over and over again, take things out, put them in. What if a new expansion comes out, like with more modules?
That would be awesome.
This is exciting stuff, man. So Jamie Stegmaier, Alan Stone, fantastic job. This is going to become one of my favorite games of all time. This game has to be on every single person's shelf. There's not one person who can't play this game.
Yeah.
If you love heavy games, if you're just getting into games, this game you need to have. And, do some experimenting. Have a glass of wine while you're playing. That's the best. Make it thematic for yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just do some wine tasting. So have a white, a red, a blush, and a sparkling.
Yeah.
So, man, every time you fill a wine order, take a drink.